today's video. My name is Rose, if you're new, but if you're not, hey girl, hey. My second video of the series on how to blend your eyeshadow step by step. First video in this series, I did a very basic neutral eye with all matte eyeshadows, but in today's video, we're taking it a step up above, okay? Step 2 with putting on more frosty shadows on the eyes, okay? So I'm gonna go over some really awesome tips and tricks, some brushes, some products I recommend, affordable products, but also products that work really well on a woman of color skin. This is a video for you, okay? Let's begin. First thing first is I'm starting off with a fresh face. I only have foundation on my face, and now we're just gonna roll into the eyes. We're gonna get this started. I always recommend for you to prime your eyes, whether you're priming your eyes with your concealer or primer. I always recommend to create a base for your eyeshadow. This helps your eyeshadow to apply just much more flawless and much more smoother onto your eye. After you prime your eye, you want to go ahead and set your concealer or eye primer down. I know there's some people who set their eye with powder and some who don't set their eye with powder. See what works best for you, but I have to set my eye with powder. I have oily skin and oily eyelids. Then I also apply the powder right under my eye, especially that I have my foundation on already. There's no fallout from the eyeshadow coming on my face, messing with my foundation. This is a Jackie Aina X Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette. I'm obsessed. Now these are my blending eye brushes. This is the Morphe M518, the Morphe 513, favorite, the Morphe 511. Using the Morphe 511 brush and Ginger, which is a nice transition eyeshadow shade. A transition eyeshadow is a shade that helps to blend out all your eyeshadows together. Typically, it's a brown shade or a warm brown shade. It just depends on your skin tone. Now, the transition eyeshadow shade I'm using today is more of a light brown shade. It has a hint of orange in it. I'm gonna pop this using my Morphe M511 brush right at the outer corner of my eye. And I'm simply just blending the brush back and forth right at that outer corner of my eye where my lash line ends. Then after I build up on that eyeshadow, I like to go back in with that same brush and then start putting that brush right into the crease area of my eye. This helps to create a really nice subtle gray into the eye and helps to define the eye at the same time. The next eyeshadow I'm going into is another transition shade. Now this is called Edges. It's more of a warm, deep brown shadow. And I'm just popping this eyeshadow right in that crease area of my eye, right in that eye socket. Now these are my top shading eyeshadow brushes. The Morphe M505, Morphe E27. Last one I have is Morphe R32, which is the one we're gonna use today. I'm gonna be using Credit from the Jackie Aina palette. Now, shading eyeshadow colors usually are more of a dark brown, a dark black, or black color. They're definitely more on the darker side, so I like to really take my time and build up on these shadows. If you just apply them right away, it's gonna look a bit quasi. I always recommend for you to take your time and build up when it comes to these shading eyeshadows. And the reason why I call this eyeshadow the shading eyeshadow is you can see it's just helping to define that outer corner of my eye and making sure it pops even more when I look down. The last eyeshadow we're using in today's video is more for frosty, iridescent shimmer eyeshadow. Now the reason why I love using these kind of eyeshadows is they just help your eyes to pop and also gives a nice shiny, brightening effect to your eye. Now I'm going to apply this eyeshadow on my lid area of my eyes, but I want my lid area of my eyes to really pop. So I like to use concealer to help this eyeshadow to pop even more. So now there's two ways you can do this. I'm using concealer and a flat top brush and applying the concealer right onto the lid area of my eye, or you can just simply take your concealer and apply it onto your lid area of your eye. It's really up to you and what type of concealer you do have and you're working with. Now for the flat eyeshadow brushes or your lid eyeshadow brushes, M508, Morphe E43, and the last one I have is what I'm going to use today. This is a Morphe M167. So we're going into Soleil from the Jackie Aina palette, and we're going to pop this on the lid area of her eyes. Then we're going back into ginger. We're gonna pop this under the lower lash line of the eyes just to help your eyes pop even more under your lower lash line. We're gonna pop on some lashes on our eye. These are from Absolutely New York, one of my favorite lash brands ever, and super inexpensive. For mascara, I'm using this one from Maybelline. This is a Lash Sensational Mascara. Always, thank you so much for watching. Always trust in the Lord. That's like on my heart right now for today. Like, just trust in the Lord, girl. Trust in God. He's got you. He's faithful. He can do the impossible things that you could never imagine, okay? So trust in him. I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.